They're trying to convince me that this running back by committee is going to work somehow. I still think that you need not necessarily a bell cow back, but a consistent back.
What's up, friends? Welcome back in Sports Take and JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. Appreciate everybody hanging with us, everybody in the chat section, everybody streaming, everybody listening. Smash that like button. I want to remind everybody, we talked about this right off the top, but just to let everybody know, because this is big time news, man. So on our JAKIB Sports Eagles postgame show, look who is joining that crew. Look who's joining D-Gun, Mike Missinelli, Seth Joyner, and Devin Caney. How about the one and only, the man who didn't give up a sack last year, Lane Johnson? Paved the lane, will be joining the show after each and every game, giving his insights. And you guys pointed it out, man, right off the top. This guy, there is no filter. It is unvarnished. It's coming at you. And it's going to be right after the game, too, which is the beauty. Like, there's not going to be a lot of time. Oh, what should I on Monday? Well, should I phrase this? No, boom. He's going to give you the straight dope, as they say. So very exciting news, guys.
Hey, when I talked to Lane about joining us a few months ago, he said, D-Gun, what do you think? I said, dude, it's a platform for you to say what you feel and not have to worry about being politically correct. I said, Seth, me. Dude, let's have some fun with it. He goes, I'm in.
Yeah.
Okay. I said, now you work it out with Joe Kraus, who's the CEO of JAKIB Sports Media YouTube Network. And, we go from there. So we've been sitting on this for a while. But, I'm so happy to have Lane on, because the thing is, on the channel that we're on, there is no bleep buttons. There is no 7-second delay.
Yes.
Lane can say what he wants to say, how he wants to say it. That's entirely up to him.
Yeah, so it's going to be cool. And so Lane's quote is, joining this lineup of talent on the JAKIB postgame show is an incredible opportunity for me to connect with the best fans in the NFL in real time after the game. So that's coming from the one and only Lane Johnson. So good stuff there.
Unfiltered. He's going to be unapologetic about what he says.
Yeah.
You might not want to hear what he says, but he's going to give it to you.
He's going to give it to you, man.
Yeah, that's a great thing about Lane. He's going to give you what's in his heart, man. And that's what you want half the time. You got to take the good with the bad. You know what I'm saying? The good with the bad.
Well said. Well said.
And that's a good thing. It's a good thing for us, because, you don't want somebody who's going to give you the corporate answer when things go bad.
Company line.
The company line.
Yeah, got to do a better job. You're not going to get that.
You're going to get exactly what he feels at that moment,
Mm-hmm.
And, it might be bad for him because you don't want to alienate. And I'm not saying he would alienate teammates.
Sure.
But he, in a general term, Lane is very good in a general broad picture of saying exactly what the fan base is saying.
Oh, no. And look, and holds himself just as accountable as anybody
Absolutely.
else.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's going to be fun. Well, Barrett, since you had your fun experience yesterday at the dentist office, you didn't get a chance to talk about the preseason game, man. And Gunnar and I went through both sides of the ball, but I want you to be able to do that too, give you the opportunity, because guess what, man? Their practice is starting tomorrow in Miami. You got Wednesday, Thursday, and then game on Saturday. So they're kind of right back at this thing. But let's go through it, Barrett. So the first two drives, let's go offense first. First two drives, heavy Boston Scott, heavy Gainwell, both netting in a touchdown, resulted in a touchdown. Let's start with those two drives first and what your impressions were.
You know what? They're trying to convince me that this running back by committee is going to work somehow. I still think that you need not necessarily a bell cow back, but a consistent back. I still think that they need a bigger back. But, both backs show that they're very capable of running in situations where they're, going downhill. And as long as that offensive line plays up to expectations, they'll be good. I mean, what if you have a line that's just as good as that offensive line, a D line that can go out there and create penetration? Sometimes, you need that bowling ball to knock those pins down. And, they look good in this preseason game. Twos going against twos, they look good. But both guys have the potential to be in the starter for us throughout the season. And, as I watched the game, I love the first two drives. They did everything you want to do. They ran the stretch play, to perfection. Stretch being, they're trying to get the ball to the outside. They block two guys down, pull the front side guard and the center around. And they have found a diamond in the rough with Cam Jurgens. Cam is by far the best center playing from out of that draft right now. And I was saying he was 1B to I think his name's Humphrey. Not Humphrey. Forget that the first round center.
Well,
put like this. He should have been in the first round. He should have been a first round pick.
yeah, the kid out of Iowa.
Yeah. And he has everything, man. He can pull, he can secure, he's a little bigger than Kelsey. So he can secure that line of scrimmage. He can hit a guy, head up on him, and drive him back. He doesn't necessarily need a double team to come off the rock and move a guy. So in that instance, he might be a little better than Kelsey, but he has all the intangibles that Kelsey has, and being able to move out in space, get up on the second level.
Tyler Lindenbaum. Thank you, Tyler.
Lindenbaum.
Thank you,
yes.
Jalen.
Tyler,
Jalen,
thank you. I didn't feel like looking it
job,
up.
Jalen. Yep.
John too. Yeah, John got it. Yep.
Thanks, John.
And also happy birthday next shift, Randy. Happy birthday.
Oh, it's his birthday?
Yeah, today's
Yep.
All right. Next shift, Randy. Good work out of you.
Yeah. So, but him and that offensive line, the twos look good, but then after that, man, it just went all to hell.
Well, we'll get into the
third,
defense. So let me just stay on the offense for a minute. I thought Minshew looked solid. I'm not telling you he was great.
Sir.
I thought he looked solid.
He's a gamer. He's not really a practice guy. He's a gamer.
Yeah, 100%. And I thought Deion Kane really showed out.
He's gonna make it tough. I mean, now
talking about Barrett. Did you see me tweet when I said during the game, Deion Kane is about to cost somebody a job?
I'll be looking at that tweet and I don't be doing no tweeting. I don't do it. I just watch the game, man. I'm looking at him and he's making it tough. He's making it tough, man. I don't think the numbers necessarily are bowling in his favor.
Why not? If they keep 6, why not?
I still don't think he fits in, because I know me and you go at it. We've gone at this, the entire offseason about Jalen Reagor. Jalen Reagor is going to be on this squad, man. Even though Deion Kane is better than he is right now.
Wait, say it again.
Kane is better than him.
Yes.
He's miles ahead of him.
Here we go.
I'm
with you. I still think Reagor's here unless he gets traded.
Miles ahead of him. He's a better player. In fact, he came out in 18? So
yeah,
he
was with the Colts. He got hurt and bounced
2 years
around
with the Colts.
Yep.
He was here for a minute, on the practice squad.
Last year. Yep.
He was in Baltimore. He's had some time in the league. He's 26 years old.
Right.
And the practice squad not like it used to be. Not only do they have, I think, 15 players they can put on practice squad, but they also can put guys on that don't qualify. You couldn't be a vested player and be on the practice squad. Now it doesn't matter. You could be vested and be on the practice squad. So that's going to help a lot of veteran players get paid. And it's like $15,000 a week being on the practice squad. But I don't think that the number counts is in his favor. If they keep 6, I still think they keep Covey before they keep him, because Covey plays special teams.
Although he hasn't done much, Barrett, in the games.
He absolutely hasn't. All
right, then let me put it to you like this: Devontae, AJ, Quez, Zach Pascal. Let's say they keep 5. Who's your 5th one? Who's your 5th?
Rager.
Okay, is he? What if we just said Deion Kane? Look, those 2 catches he made. Those 2 catches he made in that game, and I understand they're playing second and third.
Back to back.
Down the sideline. One over tough coverage. The second one, perfect back shoulder catch, adjusted his body perfectly. And let's move ahead to the second half. When he caught that out pattern, I thought he was out of bounds. Controlled his body, got his feet in. What a catch. Okay.
Both
I don't care who's covering.
Yeah.
The bottom line is making plays when your number's called. That young man made plays every time his number called. Can we say that about any of the other pass catchers? No. Hightower, Rager. Nope. Now, Devin Allen had a nice catch. I give him that, Okay, but so that's why I'm saying Kane is about to make it extremely tough. If they decide they're going to keep extra offensive linemen, something has to give somebody somewhere else. And we've already talked about this. Something has to give it another position. So if they keep 5 receivers, if I'm sitting behind closed doors with my decision makers evaluating talent, Deion Kane's name has to be in that conversation.
Derek, I agree. You're looking at this too logically.
I get
it. I agree. He's outplayed him. Like he's more deserving, but we know there's sometimes more to these decisions.
Unfortunately.
Hey, Rob,
then you're not doing your team justice then. Okay. And I agree with you 100%. If that is the
Dominique Dabney, look at Dominique Dabney's put it up on the screen, please. Bruh, Rager's gonna be here, man.
Yes. Dominique, I agree. Look, Derek,
I'm
let's
not
get straight.
talk my way into anything.
Listen,
I'm just saying.
No, I don't think you're trying to talk your way into it. Here's what I think.
No.
You've been steadfast the whole time he's not going to be here. I will 100% give you that.
Right.
I think I think there's a chance he could be traded. Let me be really clear. All right. Clears it up if that happens.
That.
But I think if they're unable to move him, that's how I think he's going to be here.
I'll say the same thing. If they don't trade him, he's going to be on this roster. Can they afford to have 6 receivers? No.
Right. But here's the one thing that you have to give Reagor out of the crew that we're talking about. If we're not talking about Covey, I'm saying he at least returns. And he doesn't do it well, but he at least returns punts.
Yep.
John Dickerson, only Rob E can talk people out of a job.
Watch it, John. I know where you work. No, but I just if somebody had distinguished themselves as a punter and kick returner, then I may feel different.
There you go.
But nobody. This is a big area of need for this team that's being overlooked because they're so
special teams is being overlooked.
Yes,
they really are being overlooked, man. They lost the first preseason game.
Yeah.
Let me go ahead, Barrett. I'm sorry.
No. Go ahead.
Let me reiterate what I've said. The reason why I feel Reagor it could be on the guillotine. It's because, and I've said this before several times between May, and I'll say it again between May and I'll say it again today. If there was ever a time that Howie Roseman could get out from under high draft picks not producing the way we think he should have produced by now, it's this year because of the addition of A.J. Brown, because of what we've seen from Devontae Smith. He's added another receiver in Pascal. We know Quez Watkins has unlimited potential. I guarantee you, if A.J. Brown now in other years where they were limited in pass catchers, if you got rid of Jalen Reagor, and I'm not here advocating getting rid of Jalen Reagor so people get that out your mind. I'm just saying when you look at the numbers and the productivity up to this point, any past years when they didn't have a wealth of talent and versatility at that position, people would be reading the Riot Act and how you bombed out on a first-round pick. Okay?
Yes.
But because of the depth and the versatility and the potential youth on this team right now, I think it would be a whisper. Whether he was cut or traded, it would be a whisper. And you're right, Rob. There's a good possibility he could be traded. You're right. They got rid of J-Jaw. J-Jaw was a high second-round pick, right?
Yeah.
People have been screaming for, since last year. Why is he still on the team? Why he's not on the team? They got rid of him.
See, I think you make a lot of sense, Derek. I've always been of the mindset, and this goes back to before I started covering sports when I was a fan. I'd rather an organization just admit a mistake and move on rather than compound it by keeping a guy around. I would honestly, I would give the Eagles credit if he was one of the cuts. It doesn't feel like that. Maybe I'm wrong.
Arizona admitted a year later they made a mistake on Sam Rosen, didn't they? He's gone.
Yep.
Gone.
The very next year went to Miami.
Yeah, Kyler Murray was drafted the next year.
Thank you. Sometimes you got to cut bait for the betterment of the team.
I think I think they're trying to move him. I'm not saying that you won't be able to move him for a 6th or a 7th. I think you could, but who knows? Maybe there just isn't a market, man.
Well, there isn't a market for a player that can't play.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where it is. I mean, I thought he was having a good enough camp that he could fight his way back and become at least a 5th receiver on the team.
Yeah.
But I just don't see the drive that I see in other.
Do you guys remember the game? I think it was his second catch. He had 2 catches, and I think it was the second one. There was one guy there. If he makes a cut, the guy bites, and Reagor could have been gone. And you're just waiting for that big play out of him, and you just don't see it.
He had us fooled that first game. It became his first game. The first pass he catches like a 50-yard bomb from Carson.
Right.
And they ended up losing the game. He's been horrible ever since then.
Yeah, and he had the one punt return in Green Bay, right? I mean, other than that, it just feels like there haven't been any big plays at all.
If he's still on this roster when they cut down to 53, I hope and pray that he elevates his game to a whole nother level and everybody gets off his neck, and he can go out there and have a great career, even if he's the 4th or 5th receiver. But as of right now, based on training camp, based on preseason games, the fact that you don't even see him back there punt returns, what does that tell you?
Mm-hmm.
What does that tell you? Why would you keep him if he's not going to be a productive entity?
Yeah.
He's not even your top. He's not in your conversation right now as your top 4 options. Think about it.
Bro, you're not trying to talk us into it.
Yeah, Derek, we're on your same page. Like as far as what it is, as far as what he's been, I couldn't agree with you more. It's impossible for me to agree with your sentiments more. I'm just telling you what I think the Eagles are gonna do. I hope I'm wrong. I'm wrong.
Yeah, it's impossible for us to think that Jalen Reagor belongs on this team because of what he has done.
Right.
That's what we're trying to say. For what he has done, he does not belong on this team.
Absolutely.
Now, what he is puts him on this team.
Yeah.
Well, and what he is a first-round draft choice.
Yeah.
That they see potential in, and how he doesn't want to let that go because if you say there's a chance, there's a chance.
I see potential in Deion Kane. Whose potential would you rather have right now?
Same. I look. Deion Kane's got good size and he can run. I wish he could return punts and kicks, man. But that might be the saving grace for Reagor. We'll see. Look, we'll see. And that was, to me, there was a lot of interesting things in that game. Let's go to the other side, Barrett. This is where I was more disappointed. I thought the defense looked, frankly, bad. And
They did.
Were, like, I thought Jordan Davis, I thought Nakobe Dean would against their twos would play a lot better than they played. And they were really just quiet more than anything else.
Yep. And it turns out that offensive line for Cleveland turned out to be a little bit better than what they thought.
Derek made the comp to the Eagles backups, like how good, how much depth they have on the offensive line. Yeah,
Cleveland has one of the best offensive lines in the game.
Yep.
It wasn't like they averaged 145 yards rushing the game last year. That's no fluke.
Nope.
Cleveland is very good at finding offensive line. Because we consider them the mistake by the lake. We don't look at Cleveland because they've never won anything. We don't look at Cleveland in that light. Cleveland is very good and very deep along that offensive line.
Yes, they are. And they're very good and deep at the running back position.
Yes.
And they ran all over that defense.
Yes.
And I actually saw Gannon trying to stop the bleeding and putting in that 50 front where they had the center, a nose guard right over the center and the 2 tackles over the 3 techniques. Over the guards at 3 technique, trying to stop the bleeding, which opened them up to the pass. So they couldn't get pressure on them with that 50 front. So there's a lot of holes in that defense. After that first team, the second team and third team have sucked.
Yeah, maybe they don't have the depth that we thought on the deep. Like
no, they don't.
Like the offensive line, defensive line, maybe not. Maybe not in general on that side of the ball. Maybe you're a little thin there.
No, it's not maybe. They are a lot thin.
Yeah.
I don't see them. I don't see them at this point, getting rid of some guys that they should get rid of and they don't belong on this team. Like I was always hesitant in watching that defensive line from last year. You know what I mean? And the backups that they had, the backups that I thought were like, I don't understand the kid from LSU, not LSU, but USC being a player. What's his name? Marvin. Hold on a second. I'll get it right now. Marlon Tuipulotu. Tuipulotu.
Yeah.
I didn't feel as though he was a good player, and it showed in this last game. He did nothing. Marvin Wilson, he tried to peak at times, but he didn't do enough.
Yeah, I want more out of him too.
Me too. Matt Leo, I thought he was going to be a player. They just hadn't gave him a shot.
Yeah,
he was getting his ass kicked.
Yep.
Teron Jackson is still that dude.
Yeah,
he could play, man.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Job was good.
Job was good. Yes. Job's gonna make this team.
Yes, he is. He's gonna make this team. Zach McPherson was good also.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. You got both of those guys. Both of those corners will be on the squad, which is why I think that they're only going to carry 5 receivers because of that. I saw
Amandi.
Amandi played okay.
Yeah.
Tart played okay also.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, Jaworski Tart. Yep.
So both of them showed up. They love Andre Sashir. So how do you have this number count that you can have 6 receivers when you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 DBs that you have to keep on the squad?
Something's got to give. That's what I'm saying. Like, I think there's a trade coming, and Howie's almost always pulls the trigger before we get to the first regular season game. I think something's going to happen.
And he's not good. But then I also look at the depth that the offensive line get. Just talking about depth as far as where guys are going to be at.
Yeah,
I thought my guy Cody Wusaka, he played terrible at tackles. Like after Jack Driscoll and Dillard left the game.
Yeah,
the edges were horrible. We couldn't stop anybody from coming off the edges.
Yeah,
Cleveland's defensive ends kicked the second team's butt, dog. Jared Williams got crushed. He got bent over backwards. Look at it, LaRaven Clark. I thought he was a hopeful. Got crushed.
Yeah.
Got ran through. That second,
he might be in trouble. He might be in trouble. Yeah.
I can't see it.
Let's go back to what we were talking about Tart for just a moment. I said this yesterday, Barrett. I want your perspective on this. Now, I agree with what you and Rob said, and I said it yesterday that I thought Tart played a decent game. But there's still, I still have the question, why did a rugged defense like the 49ers let him go? Number one, they let him go, and just yesterday, the 49ers go out and sign a veteran safety, Tashawn Gibson. Now, you already had one in-house who didn't cost you a lot of money, who knew your system inside and out, who played for you for a couple of years under Kyle Shanahan's coaching staff. You let him go, and then you had to go out and get another proven veteran to put on the back end of that defense. So my question is, why? Now, if he was a big money guy and it was a number crunching thing, I get that. It wasn't a number crunching thing with him. Okay?
You're right.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
I think, yeah.
What is it about it that we're missing?
It's coverage. He's a safety that can't cover.
That little coverage thing.
Yeah, you might have to be out on the slot and cover a receiver, and you don't want that to happen. Now, he's great at coming down. Like, if you change his jersey number to like a 50 number and you put him in a box, he could play linebacker. He'd be a great will linebacker. But do you have to go out there and cover? That's when you get exposed. You got to be able to cover. Safeties in this game have to be multidimensional now. You can't just go in and think that you can come downhill and you can be that box safety. You can't. You got to do more than just be a box safety. You got to be able to play in the slot, cover guys. That's why I see a lot of cornerbacks that make the progression from corner to safety. When you come into the league as just a safety, you either progress from being a deep safety, then you get a little older, you go down to box safety. You get a little older, you end up at linebacker, you're out of the league. You know what I'm saying? There's only a few Buda Bakers in this league that can go out and play everywhere on the field as far as being a safety.
Right.
These, Tart, I think, is just a box safety.
Yeah.
And his coverage really hampers his ability to be a game changer. And, that's why San Fran let him go. He just can't cover to what you need to do. You need to cover. It's going to be hard for him to cover tight ends and running backs out of the backfield, let alone go on out there and covering a receiver in the slot.
Yeah. All right. When we come back, we're going to keep the Eagles talk going, and we're going to dive into a couple things. 5 things we are comfortable with, 5 things we're concerned about. Interest in Kareem Hunt in terms of a trade. Would you, Barrett? We'll dive into that with you. Where's the bar
Philadelphia Minute.
All right. There's a teaser for you. We'll get into that a little bit more when we get back. Where's the bar set for you as far as playoffs? Is it 1 game? Is it 2 game, et cetera? We'll get into that a little later. The Eagles may be getting a couple of breaks when it comes to injuries already. So we'll talk about that. Phillies win last night. They bounce back. We'll dive into that as well. Don't go anywhere. We are Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. Let's talk Pro Action Restoration, because Pro Action Restoration is there in your time of need. If you have flooding, if you have water issues, if you have smoke, if you have fire, if you have mold, they are the people that you call. I have called them. They have come out and taken care of my problem. They were clean. They were fast. They were reasonable. The crew was beyond professional. They are unbelievable. And they're on call 24 hours, 7 days a week to help you out. They are licensed, bonded, fully insured. They serve the tri-state area and have been for more than 2 decades. They will work in conjunction with your insurance company. Again, Pro Action, if it's water, if it's fire, if it's smoke, if it's mold remediation. If you're not really sure, give them a call. They will let you know. You can consult with them. 610-623-3760, 610-623-3760, or you can visit them online at proactionrestoration.com, proactionrestoration.com.